And on the same day that she launched her album, Taylor uploaded everything to Spotify.
She can write the theme song to the demise of your career.
Right.
He tweeted, someone should make a Kickstarter to get Taylor Swift a booty.
Ooh.
To which Lord responded,
That's kind of
man,
funny.
this is a podcast about gossip.
This was going to be like a really wholesome, nice, special thing. Welcome to the Chasing Mountains podcast. Today we're talking about Taylor Swift. She's been in the news over the last few years anyway for re-releasing some music. We did a recent podcast on Scooter Braun. Mm-hmm. They've had kind of a feud. Can you catch us up to what's been going on there?
Well, I feel like Taylor Swift's always in the news for something. That girl does a wonderful job of just staying in pop culture. But she's re-recording her songs. And why would she want to do that? People may ask. They know that something's going on with the rights to her song, but they don't quite understand. I have a background in music, so does Dave. And so we'll do our absolute best to kind of explain this. Basically, when she went to a record label back in the day, they recorded her album. Well, see, they paid for it. So therefore, technically, they owned that version of the song. As you know, Taylor Swift owns the intellectual property rights of that song. She wrote the song and the people who wrote with her, so she owns the intellectual property. But the person who paid
intellectual property being melody and lyrics.
Correct.
Yeah.
But the person who paid for the recording owns the master. And that's what all this is about, is who owns the masters.
Master's the final recording, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
So if you come to me, I'm the record label, and you say, sign me to a deal. What that means is signing a contract that, sure, I'll pay for promotion, I'll pay for recording of the albums, because sometimes albums can be $20, $30, $40, $50, $60,000, or in my case, $12.52. All my crap in the past. But she signed a deal with these people. They owned the masters. Well, at the particular time, she signed a deal with a company called Big Machine Record Label. Now, who was the owner of Big Machine Record Label? Is it Borchetta?
Scott Borchetta.
Scott Borchetta.
I believe.
And what happened is Scott actually sold the company to Scooter Braun. Now, we talked about this, like you said, in the previous podcast by Ithaca Holdings purchased it.
Yeah.
And Taylor Swift wanted to purchase it because by having ownership of the masters, she gets to do what she wants to with it. If she chooses not to put it on platform, she can do that. If she chooses not to have a sponsorship with a company where she doesn't believe, let's say she hates Pepsi and she doesn't want Pepsi to use her song, she can directly say, no, that's my master. You can't use it. So she, it's being sold back and forth. Ithaca Holding Company turned around and sold it to another company. Mm-hmm. And she didn't like that. She was in the process of trying to purchase her own masters. And so what she's doing is just saying, screw it. I'm bypassing all of it and I'm re-recording and putting my stuff out. Is it the first 6 albums, I believe, that was on?
Yeah, which she can do. She is within her legal rights to do because, again, she owns the lyrics and the melody. And so it's the same way that I can go out and I can release a Taylor Swift cover song and earn money off of that song. I have to pay her as the writer. I have to pay whatever publishing company that went through. But if I go and I do that in my home studio, I own that new recording, that the master of that song, that final version where Dave sings Taylor's song. Mm-hmm. She still owns that IP, the intellectual property of the song, but I own, and I could go do that with your record company. Right. I could record that song through your record company.
And I could own that master as well. But it's clever. She's going and actually getting the original musicians. She's getting some of the original producers. She's re-recording. And I say, arguably, as I was comparing the songs today, I like the newer versions better because let's just say in her earlier on career, she didn't have as developed of a voice. Obviously, she was a teenager, but to me, they actually sound better. The quality of the drums actually sound better. I listened to one snare and I'm just like, ugh. Then I listened to another one, I'm like, oh. And so it's not like she's betraying the original version of the song. And what I think is actually clever, and I give this props to her and her crew, she's saying, let me backtrack a bit. Her fans are called the Swifties. Is that right?
I think that's right. Yeah.
Let me tell you, they are a fan base and a half. If you ever want to get the internet to assault you, abuse you,
Insult the Swifties.
Insult Taylor, and the Swifties will come after you. But what she did was she is re-releasing her songs in her albums, and it'll say a song like Tim McGraw, in parentheses, it'll say Taylor's version.
Right. Yeah.
Right there on the song. There's no question. It's not even like remaster, remake. It's, hey guys, listen up. That's my shit. It's like, and her fans, I think, are going to go out of the way and click on it. I feel like it's kind of a little bit of a blindside to the people who purchased. We're talking hundreds of millions of dollars people purchased these masters for. And for the future of all these masters, I think it's going to make people question, okay, if I'm going to spend $300 million on all these masters, is the artist just going to go turn around and actually just re-record the whole thing themselves? So it makes it to where instead of like Taylor Swift's version was a little bit of a mess up. Scooter Braun's company, and Scooter Braun, go listen to the podcast we did about him before. There'll be a link below, but they really didn't talk with Taylor. They kind of just did the deal not behind her back, but just without her even knowing. And then that's insulting. I think if they would have talked with her, if they would have spoke with her directly, I think it would have worked out better. I know that Scooter Braun was actually in an interview saying that he regretted how it went down.
Yeah.
And I think I think it helps. I think Taylor Swift she's obviously got her own interest at play, but I feel like she's overlooking or looking out, I should say, for the younger people coming up or the other musicians out there that don't have the voice she has. She's outwardly gone out against not wanting to be on Spotify because of how little they pay. I mean, I personally had something streamed 500,000 times and I make maybe a few $100. It's like, that sucks. Like, I don't know. Anyways, I'm rambling. Go. What do you got?
Whether it's 100% real in terms of her outrage or whether she's allowing it to just be a great story.
The girl is a storyteller.
Well,
so you're saying maybe she's leaning into it a little bit?
I think that it is a perfect and beautiful story of like character development over time. Character development, not necessarily meaning like the development of her individual personal character, but I mean like if you think about like a movie storyline where she kind of breaks into the music scene as this kind of like golden girl country, she's a tall blonde, plays the guitar, sings these kind of like sweet, cute country girl songs. Her music's very country, very twangy, the first several albums.
And what I loved about her music back then is she was talking about what she was going through. It wasn't like a young kid singing a song that should have been sung by a 40-year-old girl, a 30-year-old girl. It was like teenage puppy love, and you could believe it.
First album here on Spotify, first song even, Tim McGraw. That's like great song, classic Taylor song. By the way,
how brilliant is that you write
just
a song
name it after another artist,
about a famous artist already that like, I should go write a song called Michael Jackson.
Hey, there you go.
People would click on it to be like, well, what's this guy talking about?
Love story, like these kind of
Romeo Juliet.
Yes. And over time, like album by album, I can look at as I scroll through on Spotify here, like it gets a little edgier.
Because she's growing up.
She's growing up. The music is changing and she evolves with it, which is really, I think, to her credit. She doesn't it's not like, oh no, this is my one track. This is what kind of brought me fame.
I'll bet you there were people in the industry saying, no, stick in your lane, do your thing.
Maybe. But she has, her musical development has evolved a lot. And I think I was never a big Taylor Swift fan for the first several albums. I just wasn't that impressed.
You're a 20-year-old guy.
Yeah, but I'll tell you, when the album Red hit, I started paying attention a little bit. Because that was like, we are never getting back together. We are never, ever, ever
getting back together. Copyright strike number 3.
Following that was the album 1989.
That's a good album.
And it had songs like Blank Space, Shake It Off, Bad Blood. That to me was a song where like I stopped and I was like, oh, wait a minute. Like this is a unique sound. This isn't just a girl with a guitar anymore.
Was that a first pivot from country over to
well,
pop,
some of it was still kind of, it's interesting. If you bounce around and you jump from disc to disc, like album to album, this definitely was more electronic and pop.
Yeah.
There's a big jump. But there's still a little bit of like this kind of like sweet, like fun Taylor element.
Well, I feel like, so even though she was doing pop music, maybe it's just me, but a lot of pop music is just club, dance, and there's no story to it. But like she was able to carry over, I feel like some kind of storytelling capability in all of her songs. Like we're never, ever, ever getting back together.
Yeah. But like,
just the whole story about that whole.
But that's where she starts with that song. And then with 1989, she starts telling these stories of how she's been wronged. And like people they started making this joke about how like,
God, she knows her audience so well.
I know. Well, people like the joke with Taylor Swift is like, she's dated everybody. And if you date her, she's going to break up with you and she's going to write a song about you. And she is really good.
Do you get royalties?
Well, yeah.
No, you don't. No,
That'd be the best part. Like she's very good at writing songs where she's been like scorned. She's the victim. And I don't think she necessarily feels like a victim, but you can't help but enjoy her songs. Like, let me put it this way. If you enjoy her music and you listen to her music, you can't help but then like root for her. And you're like, yeah, somebody did Taylor wrong. Like they did like the whole, Bad Blood. She paints this picture of like this conflict, this scenario, and it's playful and it's fun. But the song is about like, is it
playful? Is it fun?
Well,
or is that shit for real?
And then we continue the evolution. So 1989, this is weird to say, but it was released in 2014. 2017, Reputation comes out. I was familiar with the songs from 1989, but Reputation came out live on Netflix. Like she did the Reputation tour. She put out a Netflix special, and it was outrageous. Because I saw Taylor Swift in the early days. I saw her perform on some late night shows, and I was not impressed. And I know like people can have some bad nights or whatever, but I saw a few shows where vocals were kind of all over the place. Yeah. The energy was weird.
But you kind of find that with writers sometimes. They're better writers than they are singers, and they almost have to meet at the level of how talented she was for writing.
But that's what I'm saying is like, the story to me is the evolution of Taylor Swift, who started as this kind of country girl, songwriter, okay performer. And like by the time 1989 and Reputation tour was happening, like the performance was outrageous. Like Reputation for me, I've watched that special several times now because I'm just so impressed with. I love the music. I love where her music went.
I think Dave's coming out as a Swiftie.
I'm a big Taylor fan. Her more recent stuff, honestly, like I haven't really listened too much or kept up with. But with Reputation and with 1989, especially Reputation, she's got these songs that hit hard. But she has these like little playful Taylor moments in the song. But they're often just even Reputation, the whole vibe. I remember like the album artwork. The music videos, she was like almost the Wicked Witch of the East type of thing, like, or West or whatever it is. It was very dark colors. She had the like wet, slick hair. It was just
is that the one where she's like, Taylor's dead or something? One of those songs.
They try to call or something.
Yeah,
that was
sorry. Taylor's dead.
Look what you made me do.
Yes.
With the serpents and everything. And it was just, it was like,
that's when she joined the Illuminati.
Yeah, maybe. Anyway, she has reinvented herself along the way, and not in ways that make it unbelievable.
Right.
You sort of feel that you've watched this character mature over time in both her, like the character she plays, and then also her music. And a part of that, I think, has been this idea that she's been wronged along the way, whether it's like from other celebrities. You guys were talking about like a whole Katy Perry feud.
Oh, Irene's got some stuff she wants to talk about.
Or whether it was Scooter Braun or whatever, but she has like garnered this super loyal fan base support and sort of created music and storylines that like she's been wronged, but now she's more powerful for it.
And I love it.
Yeah.
But she's not wrong, though. Scooter legally did everything right, but that goes to show how corrupt the music industry is. I mean, there are a lot of things about it that just has been set up that way and it's legal, but it's like maybe like moral and ethically wrong, where like you can take a young kid, like say a hip hop artist out of, Atlanta, doesn't know anything. Someone flashes a few $1,000 in front of them and says, sign this. And they're like, sweet, I can pay rent, not realizing they're giving away literally all their rights. And a lot of the times it's like, well, they had no representation. They don't understand what that means.
Yeah.
Some people don't even know what in perpetuity means. It means forever. So a lot of it is I feel like she's somewhat sticking it to the man. And this is coming from a guy who owned a record label. I kind of appreciate it because I actually have a video I want Irene to pull up. It's right under Paul McCartney. So not even a lot of people know that like the Beatles themselves did not own their masters. And that's one of the things that Paul McCartney was telling Michael Jackson when they worked on a project was you need to own your masters. Anyways, I got a video. I want Irene to make that full screen if you don't mind. Paul McCartney himself talking about what Michael Jackson did.
I have a million questions. You were the guy who said to Michael Jackson, you should get into publishing.
Isn't that great?
Yeah.
Don't you love the irony?
And he bought all your songs.
Yeah.
And you said to him, listen, I'll give you fair market value. Let me buy my songs. I want to own them. And he won't do it.
It was a funny thing. We had quite a good little relationship. He rang me up one Christmas Day, I think it was, and I heard this, hello?
He's very weird. Yeah.
I said, hello, is this? I thought, wait a minute, this American fan's got my home phone number.
Right.
This is weird. I said, hello, yes. No, he's not here.
Yeah.
So, hi, Paul. Anyway, he came over and I said, what do you want to do? He said, make some hits. I said, that sounds good. So we got a little relationship there. It was quite good fun. And it is true, he did ask me, he said, got some advice, Paul? Yeah. I took him aside and said, diddle, and think about getting into music publishing. And I thought he was joking. He said, I'm going to get yours. Well, I went,
sure you are.
Back. Good one. I thought that was a joke. And then I just got wrong up and said, he's got yours. And I thought, hey, you know what is weird? I don't mind that because he, had all the cash, someone was selling it and he bought it. What I don't like is that I've actually written to him a couple of times. We're dishing the dirt. Howard, you got me at it.
Go ahead, yeah.
I don't normally.
You wrote him a couple of letters.
Wrote him a couple of letters saying, Michael, don't you think after even if I was just a writer on the payroll, after 30 years of being reasonably successful for this company you now own, don't you think I could have a raise?
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's just business.
That's the point is like the Beatles themselves had no say of the masters, and someone with just a large sum of cash just came in and bought it. That's what happened to Taylor Swift.
So hold on though. Is this typical in the industry? Like, does this happen a lot?
Very typical.
Okay.
Yeah, people. It's like
because she acts like it's never happened before.
That's the thing, and I think she's playing into that a little bit. But it does feel like you're being betrayed. It's like, did I not get a say at all? How come he wanted to buy it? He just gave the right advice to the wrong person, and he went and bought up all their stuff.
Well, it's like the master becomes a commodity. You've created a thing, and for these artists that are in the studio making magic, it's personal. It's not just a commodity like it is to these like big conglomerates that like buy these assets.
That's how they think about it. It's an asset to them.
Oh, for sure. But to the artist, I do understand it. It's much more personal. And because they feel like that's their song. They've toured. They've been the face of that song. In many cases, they've toured the world.
Well, writing the albums might take 5 years to come up with those songs.
Yeah.
And then maybe a year or so worth of just recording.
Yeah.
Like people don't know how long and how hard it takes. So yes, how do you not take it emotionally and personally?
I can understand. Like I can understand a little bit some of that like personal.
Well, that's why this next segment I'm going to call Don't Mess with Taylor. Because I think she's got the money, she's got the time, and she's got the creativity. And she kind of, Irene has some information, right?
Every celeb Taylor Swift has beefed with. Okay. Number one, Katy Perry. However, they were friends in the early 2000s. And then nobody really knows exactly what happened, but next thing you know, over the course of a few years, they were tweeting.
I think John Mayer happened.
Yeah, true. They were tweeting little like undercut tweets. Katy Perry once referred to her as Regina George, which your followers probably won't.
Who's Regina George?
She is the basically the bad guy of Mean Girls. The mean girl. The mean girl of Mean Girls.
The cute blonde? Okay, yeah.
So Katy Perry tweeted something like, beware of Regina George in sheep's clothing or something.
Did she at Taylor Swift?
No, but the undertones, apparently if you're a Swiftie. The undertones were there. That's all
This
they
is
needed
some
to run.
serious celebrity drama.
However, here's a screenshot of her in 2000. Well, that's the wrong date. But You Need to Calm Down, that newer one of Taylor's.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
This is a screen grab from that. So that one is like, you need to calm down and just be nice to everybody. So apparently they're friends again.
Okay. Well, but what's the
Are they fast food in this?
Didn't they-
film?
Yeah, they're fast food. I don't.
fries go with hamburgers? Tell me the beef that Taylor did when I said don't mess with Taylor about the whole Spotify deal.
Oh, yeah. So we don't know if this is true or
Just a big coincidence.
big rumor. According to one article, it was definitely true. And according to Billboard, it was just a coincidence. But Taylor Swift was refusing to put her music on Spotify.
Because they wouldn't pay the royalties
Right.
to the artist that she wanted.
However,
Right.
Katy Perry was launching her newest album. And on the same day that she launched her album, Taylor uploaded everything to Spotify.
Her entire discography,
And I listened to Taylor that day over Katy Perry. So
which consequently
Ooh.
hurt her actual plays and sales. Yeah. So kind of
Well, that ain't nice.
but she needed to calm down, and now
I guess.
they are calmed down.
Now, what was the other one you said? Was something about a tweet that had a penis joke in it?
Oh yeah, well, there's a lot. So
There's a lot of penis jokes. It's a Nicki Minaj
yeah,
beef.
in 2015, Nicki tweeted her frustration that Anaconda wasn't nominated for Video of the Year at the VMAs. She tweeted, "If your video celebrates women with very slim bodies, you'll be nominated for Video of the Year."
It had nothing to do with the slim bodies or thick bodies. It had everything to do with the sexual innuendos, inappropriateness of that video. That video, I stopped watching. It made me very uncomfortable. And
I think
I've done
we
a
made
ton
you
of
watch it to make you uncomfortable.
You made me watch it, and it's like I've done a ton of hip hop music videos. I couldn't watch it anymore. It was just like the reason it didn't win because it was way inappropriate.
Diplo. She feuded with Diplo because Diplo was dating Katy Perry, and I think he decided to, this is my personal opinion, I think he decided to insert himself into the feud to gain some traction around his name. But he tweeted, "Someone should make a Kickstarter to get Taylor Swift a booty."
Ooh.
To which Lord responded,
That's kind of
"Man,
funny.
this is a podcast about gossip. I am ready."
So it might be funny, but it's kind of inappropriate.
It is.
I wouldn't make fun of some girl's ass.
Well, Lord jumped in and tweeted, replying to that, "Should we do something about your tiny penis while we're at it?"
Ouch. What was his response?
Well, Taylor never responded, but in 2019, Diplo said that making those tweets was the worst decision of his career.
Well, because the
The
Swifties,
Swifties.
don't mess with. See, here's the thing: don't mess with Taylor, but it really means don't mess with the Swifties. And Dave is a Swiftie now.
It's her gang. Yeah. Don't y'all talk about Taylor.
Yeah, Dave's gonna beat me up later.
Mm-hmm.
Of course,
I
Kanye.
Kanye.
Everybody knows about I would assume at
What
this
did she
point
say?
everyone
I'm gonna
knows.
let you finish. Right? Is that the whole? Is that the?
Yeah.
Have it
Oh,
to
totally
here.
is. Taylor, congratulations. I'm gonna let you finish, but Beyonce had the best video. I mean, that was the day that everybody started to realize that Kanye, had some issues.
Yeah.
I'll say again, Taylor managed in that moment to
Stay calm.
I think most people who watched that felt like, well, she handled that pretty professionally, and you can't help but kind of jump to her defense. She didn't smack Kanye and be like, get the hell out of here. This is my moment to shine. Instead, she kind of she clearly looked bothered, but you couldn't help but I don't know, feel bad for her.
Mm-mm.
And then the Kim Kardashian, she just lumped in with Kanye, so.
Because I know there was a whole beef over whether or not some lyric was allowed in a Kanye song. And
Yeah.
I don't know much
and
about that.
Reputation was supposedly because of the spat with the two of them.
See, I'm telling you, she does a good job of getting into these little tiffs. It's publicity, but also it gives her fuel for commercial success with this stuff.
There's a rumor that the Hiddle-Swift era, where
The who?
Taylor Swift was dating Tom Hiddleston, so they were the Hiddle-Swift.
See, I don't know anything about this.
Well, listen, I know a little more about Taylor than I care to
Are you
let
a Swiftie?
loose.
I
I'm
just
not a
like to-
Swiftie. I just don't. I like drama, not in my realm.
See,
so I can live
Taylor's
it, but not
smart.
have it in my life.
Yeah, Taylor's smart enough to know that's how you get fans.
is what, like, create the drama for them and live it
make
for
a
them?
good song, give some drama. And I mean, we're two 40-year-old guys talking about Taylor Swift.
But coincidentally,
Okay.
they dated for 3 months, and he had this new movie coming out, and then they broke up.
That's why I
Something
wonder,
seems a little PR-y.
is that look at the amount of level of guys she's dated. Obviously she's Taylor Swift. She can date whoever she wants, but is some of that publicity? Is it oh, hey, you got an album come out, go date Harry Styles and then break up with him later or whatever?
It does get her in the tabloids for sure.
And I would hate to be in the tabloids.
I would love to be in the tabloids.
I think I've been in the tabloids actually.
You have been in the tabloids.
Yeah.
Tina Fey and Amy Poehler.
They don't like her?
Well, they made a joke about her love life, and Taylor responded with, "There's a special place in hell for women who don't help other women."
Oh.
So very passive aggressive, not specific.
A lot of her fights are passive aggressive Twitter fights.
Or she goes and writes a song about it without being super specific.
Women are they're good at that. But I'm like, well, how do you know this is about so and so? Oh, it's about them. It's like, well, there's no indication that it's about them. It's like you got to look at the undertones.
It's the sixth sense.
Yeah.
Maybe.
It is. I agree.
Camila Bell, that was over. Was it Joe Jonas? Yeah, Joe Jonas.
Boyfriend issue?
I don't remember. There were a lot of boyfriends.
When we talk about beefs that Taylor Swift has had, I want to know, what are the legitimate ones? There's the high visibility, ones like a Katy Perry or like a Scooter Braun or whatever. But some of those, like we talked about, are potentially good for business.
Yeah.
So I want to know, if you're listening and you know the real beefs, the actual serious drama.
I wouldn't want to take her off because she's a powerful woman.
I'm scared. Like I said, there was Taylor Swift from the early days where she was the cutesy blonde, country girl songwriter. But then Reputation, and she's got the greased hair, and she's got serpents and snakes around, and she's all pissed off and rich.
Yeah, she can write the theme song to the demise of your career.
Right.
Or your life.
What are the chances that Taylor Swift is paying people to just off others? She's going to
kill them, or I'll write a song about you.
Right. She's going to do that to us.
Obviously, I don't think I'm honestly, with looking her up and stuff like that, I have a little bit more respect for her just because of how hard it is to stay at the top as long as she has. At one point in time, was it 2019? She was the highest paid entertainer in the world.
Don't you have a story about going to the Philippines and you were somewhere remote and everybody there was asking if you knew Taylor Swift, and you were wondering how did these children in the Philippines with no technology, no cell phones, how did they know the name Taylor Swift?
And this is years ago.
Yeah. 2009? 2009 or 10?
Yeah.
10 or 11.
Yeah. I think it came to, we were in the middle of nowhere up in the mountains. To Swift. Huh? I forgot about that.
To Swift.
That's how I knew that she was a mega star. Was in the middle of nowhere where there's no technology. There's no radio stations up in there. They didn't have any radios. It's up in the mountains of the Philippines. And these kids knew who Taylor Swift was. And they asked if I knew her. And I disappointed them when I said, no, I don't know them. And they're just like, oh. And then
they didn't want to talk to you anymore.
No. Last thing real quick of Don't Mess with Taylor. So June 18th, 2021, Taylor Swift announces re-recording Red album. That's Scooter Braun's birthday. It's just clever.
It's clever. And it's in a way where it's well, you really caused no harm. There's no legal, physical, you're not attacking someone, but you've done a thing that was really clever and strategic and kind of a big FU.
It's kind of a gangster move. It's just I know who you are. You know who I am. Let's just throw it out there. There's nothing done. It's just kind of driving by someone's house. Oh, this is where you live. Beautiful place.
Be a shame if something happened.
Yeah. Have a wonderful life. Drives off, never goes by. I'm not saying she's a gangster, but she's a powerful person.
She's a gangster.
But
can I tell a story about Taylor really quick? It's very short. Mm-hmm. Extremely short.
Is it as short as Diplo's dick? My wife liked that joke. Diplo didn't.
We're done.
No, go back to your story. Forgive me. I'm sorry. Tell this story.
This was going to be a really wholesome, nice, special thing. So when Taylor Swift was 12 years old, there was a computer repairman and local musician named Ronnie Kramer, and he taught her to play guitar. And that's the story.
Hold up. Wait, some computer guy?
Computer repairman and local musician taught her how to play at 12 years old.
So hold up. 12 years old.
Yeah.
Parents, why are you letting a computer salesman be with your daughter, teach her how to play the guitar?
No, but so here's why I think that's a really interesting story is like we all have young people in our lives, whether they're kids or our nephews over there. You never know what taking a few moments to convey a skill or sort of transfer knowledge to this young person. You never know where that's going to lead. Like vast majority of people, they're not going to become Taylor Swift, but like people can go on to do really great, incredible, record-breaking things, just from like what all starts with kind of like a small act, you know, of like teaching someone something new, something they can use, something they've fallen in love with and can take to new heights. And I thought that was really
That's
cool.
sweet.
Like you think about like who Taylor Swift is now with this filthy rich, incredibly successful, maybe sometimes petty,
I love it though.
superstar, who also now is influencing generation after generation.
I could think of 5 girls who play guitar because Taylor Swift plays guitar.
For sure.
They sing because of Taylor Swift.
And the truth is they actually sing because of Ronnie Kramer.
Look, Taylor Swift, good luck, man. It's very cool.
Good luck with what?
Just like,
She doesn't need luck. She's already done it all.
well, that's true. Fine. Then Taylor Swift, absolutely no luck.
Leave some for the rest of us.
Yeah, she's got plenty of luck. I'm just saying, like, she's going up against some very powerful people who have a lot of money, and they are going to be losing money by her releasing her masters. So I just think I still say good luck.
Why?
Gangsters. No, I'm kidding.
Oh,
I think she's done a wonderful job with her career, and I still think she has a lot more she can produce. There's a more detailed podcast about Scooter Braun, the guy who kind of started the whole conflict. But I think it's yet to be seen what happens. So
a good Taylor Swift podcast, though. This was fun.
It was fun. All right. Thanks, everybody. Peace out.
Thanks, y'all.
The thoughts and opinions on this show do not reflect those of our advertisers, employers, or other affiliates. The content should not be considered legal or financial advice. The Chasing Mountains podcast is a production of Chasing Mountains Media.